Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part one of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 25th through November 29th. We're in part one of our weekly trading game plan. We'll try to help you make money trading Thanksgiving week. So we've got a shortened holiday week. And again, we'll look at ways we can make money trading Thanksgiving week and going forward. So let's get started. So here's our notes for part one of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 25th through November 29th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. Our weekly trading game plan notes Google documents contain links to bonus videos, to the tools and resources we use to do our market analysis, come up with our trading strategies, trading ideas for this trading week. We keep all of our Google documents with our weekly trading game plan notes in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder. So you can refer back to the notes from this week as well as previous weekly trading game plan notes. And you can also find a direct link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below. Good morning, the Crow. Glad to see you today. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. So firstly, we'll look at how the markets ended up on Friday. We see pretty choppy, pretty flat, but all the markets ended up slightly positive for the Friday. Dow was up almost 1%. NASDAQ up 0.16%, S&P up 0.35%, but overall pretty flat, pretty choppy. We've got a little bit of a bump on the market on close at the end. We did have many more advancers than decliners, 73% advancing, 23% declining. Had many more new highs, 88% new highs, only 11% new lows. Got 56% above the 50-day moving average, 44% below, and 62% above the 200-day moving average, 38% below. So overall, generally bullish, but again, just pretty choppy flat on Friday. See a pretty mixed heat map. Mag 7 pretty mixed. NVIDIA down, Amazon down a little bit, Tesla quite a bit up. Again, most of the other sectors pretty mixed. Google and Meta were down. So again, a lot of mixture in the heat map. Welcome, Sydney Osborne. Thank you for your positive comments and thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And we appreciate all your support. So some news, Bitcoin's rally. So we'll talk about the rally of Bitcoin up to 100,000, making some investors nervous about the stock market. Black Friday ahead, focus on consumer spending. Trump pick of an investor favorite for Treasury Secretary. So stock market probably like that selection of the Treasury Secretary. Dow ends up higher. Dollar rallies. You'll see the dollar's been very strong as well to a 2-year high. See, oil now broke back up above 70, so now got support at 70. Looks like it's headed up to test 72 potentially. Natural gas tested above 350, got rejected, broke back down, sitting around 328. Gold also rebounded, tested 26 or 2650, and we'll see a strong rebound in gold. All the futures on the indices currently pointing up. Bond yield's been pretty choppy, right around 4.6 for the 30, 10-year about 4.4, 5-year about 4.3. So we saw that curve steepen a little bit, but again, bond yields and bond prices just been pretty choppy. Again, we saw the futures in Bitcoin actually did breach that 100,000 mark. I guess the spot price hasn't quite breached that 100,000 mark yet, but again, everyone's waiting for Bitcoin to break 100,000. Welcome, Gerald Fitz. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. We'll look at a breakdown of the major indices and the technology components. Just a quick reminder, you can access these screeners in our notes, also in the screener sheet of our ETFs and Watchlist Google Sheets. We look at each of the indices. Again, we see the Dow's looking like it's going to test its previous all-time high, and a nice rebound in the middle of the channel after filling that gap. IWM, strong bounce off that lower trend line. Again, possibly a retest of that upper trend line, possibly a retest of the recent high. Q is not so much, just kind of chopping around on that lower trend line. Got a little bit of a gap to fill on the upside. We'll see if it fills that gap. But again, not as much strength in the Qs. Similarly, the SPY looks like it filled most of that gap, didn't quite reach the lower trend line, bounced back up. But again, not as strong of a movement in the SPY either. So again, see probably more upside in IWM, a little bit of a bounce in the Dow. Look at the technology components. Welcome to Ricky Khan. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. So we saw ARK-K kind of filled that initial gap, the top level gap, rebounded a little bit. We'll see if it tries to retest its previous high or breaks down. Again, got some significant gaps, so a lot of potential volatility in ARK-K. Bangs have been just chopping around, again, kind of filled in those gaps, just been chopping flat lately. See sector rotations in and out of the Mag 7s. LabU, biotech, a lot more volatile. We saw that steep decline on RFK being nominated for the Health and Human Services. Did hit that lower trend line, bounced back, so a lot of volatility in biotech, but again, some potential negative catalysts coming out of the administration. Semiconductors generally weak. The NVIDIA earnings was kind of a non-event, not a whole lot of movement. The overall semiconductors, not a lot of movement in NVIDIA, even though quite a bit of a move was expected. So semiconductors, again, just been pretty flat. Broader technology, again, following the trend line, following its moving average. It did bounce up and kind of fill that gap. Again, otherwise just generally flat. Same thing with the Qs, which is just leveraged long on the Qs anyway. So if we look at a quick breakdown of the groups and the sectors and the industries in FinBiz. So we'll see kind of a defensive, even though it was a choppy positive day on Friday. A lot of the defensive sectors caught a bid, so rotation kind of out of technology, out of some of the Mag 7s into a more of defensive sector for Friday, potentially as people are leaving already for their Thanksgiving holiday. Overall for the week, had a mixture, basic materials, defensives, energy, utilities. So again, generally pretty defensive. Technology was positive. All the sectors were positive for the week. So overall, pretty bullish week. For the month, financials, energy, industrials, technology slightly positive, negatives, healthcare, real estate, basic materials. Look at the industries. So retail, again, we'll have a focus on retail this week. Walmart did well, Target did poorly. So a mixture of retailers, again, there'll be a lot of focus on retailers, both online and offline with Black Friday. Solar ended up Friday positive, pretty volatile. Some of the REITs positive. Again, some of the REITs, oil and gas had a rebound. Gold slightly positive. Negatives, aluminum, coal, some utilities, copper, uranium slightly negative, but we'll see for the week. Extremely positive, number one performer for the week. Uranium, gold, computer. Solar positive for the week. Some banks. Negative silver, internet retail. Some shipping, some medical care, not a whole lot negative for the week. For the month, though, coal was very positive, so it's a rotation out of coal. Aluminum positive, uranium very positive for the month. Oil positive. Some REITs negative, solar negative for the month. Gold, copper, silver, so basic materials negative for the month. So again, we see a rotation, laggards to leaders, leaders to laggards. Welcome, Ellen Krantz. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. Let me grab a quick drink and we'll go over the highlights of the economic data from last week, and then we'll look at the economic data upcoming for the holiday week. Just a quick reminder, as the important economic data comes out, important economic data or important economic news, I try to capture that, post that in the Surf the Markets channel in our Discord. Our Discord is free to join. We'd love to have you join our Discord. Great source for, again, important economic data in real time, also important economic news. So you can see as the data, important economic data comes out, try to capture a screenshot from investing.com, the raw data, also other economic news as that comes out, oil and natural gas inventories, etc. Try to post those as quickly as possible in the Surf the Markets channel in our Discord. Again, we have all kinds of additional channels in our Discord, so you can discuss all different styles of trading different assets. So again, love to have you join us in our Discord, where you can discuss trading 24/7. Didn't have a whole lot of important news Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, we got jobless claims. Initial claims slightly less than expected. Continuing claims up just a little bit, but the average for 4 weeks was down. So again, we see continuing resilience in the job market. Fed doesn't have to worry about the job market deteriorating, unemployment spiking up. So again, no reason for them to continue to cut rates. We'll see if they do so anyway. Friday, we got some manufacturing data, pretty much in line. Services data, a little bit better. We got Michigan sentiment. This was kind of interesting. 1-year inflation steady at 2.6, no change, but the 5-year inflation expectations actually went up to 3.2. So one would expect the Fed's not going to like that as much. And overall sentiment kind of deteriorated a little bit, expectations deteriorated, and current conditions deteriorated. So we'll see if that has any impact on consumer spending. So far, we haven't seen this consumer spending slow down at all. Last retail sales were better than expected. So we'll see if the consumer continues to spend through Black Friday and the holiday season. We look at some of the other economic data from last week. Zoom this up a little bit. So we still got Fed officials talking, so we'll hear what their views are on this data and whether they think they still need to cut in December. Bond auctions pretty much in line. Building permits a little weak. Again, we had seen mortgage rates bump up, bond yields bump up, so that negatively impacts. So housing starts a little weak, building permits a little weak. Oil stocks up, but we saw oil prices go up. Mortgage rates continue to go up, now up to 6.9. Applications, though, were up. Again, crude oil inventories up a little bit, but prices rebounded back up over 70. Talked about jobless claims data. Existing home sales pretty much in line. Natural gas storage dropped, although again we saw price of natural gas tested above 350, got rejected. We'll see if that upward trend continues. I guess we definitely got colder here. I guess the cold snap is positively impacting natural gas prices. Talked about Michigan sentiment. Rig count up just 1. Total rig count down 1, so rig count not changing a whole lot. Look at the important economic data for next week. Got some bond auctions, housing prices on Tuesday, consumer confidence, home sales, FOMC meeting minutes. So people will be looking at that to see any indication of further cuts in December. Mortgage rates on Wednesday. We get PCE, core PCE. So again, important input into the Fed interest rate decisions. Although it's on Wednesday right before the holiday, I don't know if that'll get as much attention. We also get GDP, so a lot of important economic data, initial jobless claims right before the holiday. But again, we'll see if that gets the attention that generally does given right before the holiday. Again, PCE data, so a lot of important economic data on Wednesday. So we'll see if that creates any additional volatility or if most people are already on the holiday. And you can see the markets are closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and the markets close at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Friday for the day after Thanksgiving. Don't have a whole lot of economic data on Friday. So we still got some earnings, although again, NVIDIA was the last of the Mag 7. Big Mag 7s to report. Still some important companies. Zoom reporting on Monday. So some technology, so you can see who's left. But again, all the Mag 7s have now reported. Most of the banks have reported, etc. So should be winding down. But again, we see pretty dramatic movements in the not just in their top line earnings, but also their guidance, also their CapEx spending on AI. So again, you can see if any of the companies you're interested in trading, same sector, etc. Also, we saw a mixture in retail, Walmart beating, Target missing. So sign that the consumers, starting to trade down, looking for better values. So we can see how that might impact some of the retailers, etc. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll go look at the market screen in Webull. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, they're still offering 40 free fractional shares of stock. If you open and fund your account with at least $2,000, under $2,000, you still get 20 free fractional shares of stock, each worth $3,000 to $3,000. And if you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get your free fractional shares of stock. They're also still sending me promotions for bonus interest on uninvested cash for contributions. So if you join now, take advantage of all their current promotions. And if you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, we would appreciate it. And you'll also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. So here's the market screen in the online browser version of Webull. So we talked about a number of recent enhancements they've made, so that's nice. If we look at advancers and decliners from Friday, we see many more advancers than decliners, but the percentage of advancement was very small. Percentage of decline was very small, so generally just a pretty stable, neutral day. The inflow is interesting. We're kind of back to the typical inflow we saw on Fridays, where we saw outflow out of the NASDAQ, accelerating outflow out of the NASDAQ on Friday, kind of steady inflow into the NYSE. So again, kind of back to what we had typically seen, probably pre-election on Fridays, with an outflow out of the NASDAQ, inflow into the NYSE on Fridays. Market sentiment is currently pretty neutral. So even though markets are close to their all-time highs again, market sentiment just generally neutral. This is kind of interesting. It kind of bottomed out on the 20th, bounced back up. We had peak greed on the 13th. So we had a decline from the 13th to the 20th over the past week, and then a bounce up. We'll see if we go back and retest that peak greed level. Treasury's pretty flat. So 1 year just declined initially and then bounced back up. 2 year made a small gain. 10-year just slightly. So again, U.S. Treasury yield's been pretty choppy, pretty stagnant this week. Again, you can see the calendar on a day-by-day basis for earnings, dividends, etc. in the calendar section in Webull. You just bounce that up to the next week. You see the holiday week, and then you go day by day, see who's reporting, what the expectations are, etc. It's interesting. That's interesting positive feedback. Crow advancers and decliners is how I decide how aggressive to trade. That's a good suggestion, good tip. Thank you for sharing that. So if we look at the best performing industries for the week, see again, uranium, very positive. Top ones, LEU, DNN, UEC, NXE. Auto parts rebounded a bit. Food and drug retail, probably Walmart in part. Natural gas pretty positive, oil pretty positive, construction, packaging, metals and mining generally positive, real estate operations positive, oil and gas, biotech kind of mixed. Media, I guess Comcast is spinning off some of their cable, so more attention in the media spinoffs, potential mergers. Computers mixed. Hotel entertainment positive. Look at the ETFs quickly. So up on the Russell, up on small caps and mid caps, up on the Dow, up on the S&P and mid caps, up on the NASDAQ, up on Bitcoin, not surprising, down on the VIX, up on small caps, the Russell. Industries, industrial strong, rebound in healthcare, financial services, utilities mostly negative, communications negative, energy very positive, real estate positive, technology, basic materials mostly positive, cyclical positive, and defensive. So Generally pretty positive, except for utilities, communication services, commodities, energy, probably gold. Okay, now let's also look at the futures. Again, just a quick reminder, you can also now trade futures in Webull. We have a discussion when they started offering futures in our Discord that you can refer to and get more information about how to trade futures in Webull as well. Look at the futures charts in FinBiz. Again, we can see that rebound in the Dow. Looks like it's going to test that previous high. Not quite as strong in the S&P or NASDAQ, so a slower grind up. We'll see if it grinds up to retest its previous high. Stronger rebound in the Russell. Again, see if it goes to test its previous high. Foreign markets rebounded a bit, but again, not as strong after declining pretty significantly. I'll look at the VIX term structure again. We saw a little bit of a spike in the VIX on the missile strikes into Russia from Ukraine, and then the response from Russia. But as you can see, that increased volatility didn't hold for very long, and the VIX declined back down to 16. That's the futures. So if we look at the VIX term structure using the VIX term structure tool on our homepage, again, you can find tools and resources we frequently use in the link section on our homepage. Homepage is beachbumtrading.com, without the U. So if we go down to the reference links, find the VIX term structure. So we can see the current VIX is down at 15, but the front month, the December contract for VIX is at 16, and we're back into a contango. So we saw this kind of flip back and forth during the week from contango to backwardation back to contango. So we see going forward, the VIX is expected to rise. Current VIX is significantly below the VIX futures. Thought I'd point out this other nice feature of this VIX futures term structure tool. You can look at the historical prices. So if we hit that historical prices tab, so here's the current futures going days to expiration. So we see it's declining, going out. But if we add today, it's not going to be very interesting being a weekend. We can add today, we can show the previous day, add today, and then we can show the term structure on top of that, so we can kind of see where the current trend is relative to the VIX term structure. So the future VIX is above the current VIX, so hopefully that can give you some ideas if you trade VIX futures or some of the ETFs we have that are based on the VIX futures, like UVXY, and then short SVXY, SVX, XBall, etc. So again, I thought this was another helpful way to look at trends and volatility trends in the VIX. So let us know if you think that'll be helpful if you use this VIX term structure tool. So if we go back to the futures, talked about oil, broke back up above 70, probably test that resistance level at 72. Possibly we'll see if it breaks that and continues up, or if it gets rejected, heads back down. Natural gas, again, briefly broke above 350, got rejected, corrected somewhat, but the overall longer term trend is up. Again, colder weather, positive for natural gas. So again, longer term upward trend in natural gas. Again, gold, we see that quick retest of 25.50, strong rebound, surging back up, probably retest that 27.50, see if it retests the all-time high, or it gets rejected and trends back down. Silver, not as strong of a reaction, but you see that quick retest at 30, strong rebound, broke back up above 31, probably retest 32, and then we'll see if we get a rejection or if it breaks 32 and continues upward. Similarly with the other precious metals, platinum, palladium, all pretty strong rebounds and then kind of flattening out. Not so much with copper, so copper kind of rolled over, possibly China weakness. Other commodities, corn high. Oh, it's rebounded. Wheat also had a pretty strong rebound. Looks like it tested about 530 or so, and then had a strong rebound. Tested that resistance at 580, got rejected. So we'll see if it'll probably go down and fill that gap. And we'll see if it continues to trend down or reverses back and retests that 580 level. Coffee surging up, sugar slowly trending down. Again, bonds have been just pretty flat, pretty choppy. Prices chopping around the bottom. So, and bond yields pretty stable right now. So looks like a pretty good bottoming formation on the treasuries. We'll see when that starts to swing back up. Again, dollar's been strong, now up over 107, driving the foreign currencies. People are talking parity in the euro, so we're waiting for that euro to get down to 1. And yen's been pretty flat, and they're talking about some concern about this unravel of the yen carry trade potentially spiking volatility again. It's not, if we look at the yen quickly, not quite down to that when the BOJ initially raised interest rates, but it's headed down there. So we'll see if that triggers some volatility and a pop in the yen. Welcome, Gerald Pitts. If I missed you earlier, thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great trading week. Okay, I'm going to jump forward and talk about our theme for this week, and then we can come back and look at some ETFs. Grab a quick drink. Welcome, Fairchild. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. Okay, our theme for this week is to make money trading Thanksgiving week, and we've discussed this and generated some videos in the past about how to make money trading during Thanksgiving week, trading holiday weeks, and some ideas of some of the things that you can do during holiday weeks, be it Thanksgiving week. We've got a shortened week, closed on Thursday, half day on Friday. Again, a lot of people are already traveling, will be traveling, more people will be traveling during the week. So we expect the volumes to drop off, markets to be somewhat choppy, get lower volume, potentially choppy. And be a little careful due to the low volume, the choppiness. And again, I expect volumes to drop off further as we get further into the week, more people traveling, leaving the markets, etc. Also, people may, if they have not already, if they want to take their profits or protect their profits, they may have done so already. We've also got the end of the month, so we see some sector rotation. We saw that already last week, but again, we may see some sector rotation for the end of month this week as well as being the holiday week. So some things to consider in your trading. Also, we talked about the fact that we're kind of in the early part of tax loss harvesting season. We've got the wash sale, which is a 30-day window So your big losers, if someone wants to harvest a loss of a big loser for this year, they may do that at this point before they leave for the holidays. And then they might want to try to pick it back up the end of December or early January. We might see people, trying to front run the Santa rally and pick up those big losers again after the 30-day window for the wash sale at the end of this year, end of December. If you're not familiar with how tax loss harvesting works or what the wash sale rule is, you can get more information via the links to those videos. Also, we want to wish all of you happy Thanksgiving from our BeachBum Trading family. So if you're headed out for vacation for the week, or since we won't have another live stream before Thanksgiving, we will tomorrow, but we want to wish you all happy Thanksgiving holidays to you and all of your family from all of us at BeachBum Trading. And we want to express our thanks again to everyone in the BeachBum Trading community, especially to our Patreon patrons for all your support for this year and the previous years. And thank you to everyone for your help and support to help us continue to grow our BeachBum Trading community for the mutual benefit of all of our fellow BeachBum traders. We've also been talking in general about how to make money trading in November. I just wanted to back up a little bit too and talk about Black Monday or Black Friday. Again, focus on retail, so people will be listening for foot traffic, sales, early sales data coming from the retailers. Also online sales, also something that might help you get a read on that is the amount of discounts. So if they're heavily discounting, that's actually potentially negative for the retailers. So again, if you're interested in retail stocks, listen for some of those reports coming out of the retailers on Black Friday. Then the following Monday, we've got Cyber Monday. So again, input into your online retailers. So again, retail will definitely be one of the focuses for the next couple weeks as a prelude for how the whole holiday shopping, strength of consumer, etc. And you can use that as input to your trading decisions. So I hope that all helps. Again, we've talked about November in general. We'll be heading into December next week. We'll talk about trading in December. Continue to talk about the tax loss harvesting, the wash sale rule, etc. Also, we've been talking about the fall, so you can access all those historical trend information via the links to the videos. So now I'll jump back to our ETFs. So if anyone in the chat has a particular topic, index, etc., you'd like to look at ETFs for, throw those up in the chat. Again, as we have come up with a trade idea, trade strategy to long or short any particular index, topic, theme, commodity, etc., then we can jump over to our ETFs Google Sheet and identify an ETF with the risk-reward profile, amount of leverage, etc., to trade our trade idea. And you can do the same thing by joining our Patreon and get 24/7 access to our ETFs Google Sheet. So when you have a trade idea, you want to trade an ETF based on that trade idea, you can jump over to our ETFs Google Sheet and identify an appropriate ETF to use to trade your trade idea. So firstly, I want to highlight a couple that I've added to the research sheet of our ETFs Google Sheet. So I'll open this up. We can jump over to those new ETFs. So firstly, I identified a new one on quantum computing, QTUM. This is a Defiance Quantum Computing ETF. So again, quantum computing's been a hot topic lately, along with AI, etc. So firstly, we'll look at this QTUM. So jump over to our research sheet, do a find on quantum computing. So now we've got this QTUM. See, it's relatively new, so we don't have a whole lot of historical information. Not a super risk reward profile. It's currently sitting at 68. So it's at or near its 52-week high. It's actually made a new top, so I can update that top. We look at the profile in FinBiz first for QTUM. You see it's at a 52-week high. Had declined down in August, rebounded back up. Look at a longer chart, so it's very high. Like a new all-time high right now. Looks like it's been around since 2019. Does pay a very small dividend. It is optionable. It is not shortable. Got a pretty good AUM, 324 million. Pretty low volume, so probably pretty choppy. Yep, pretty choppy. Again, pays a quarterly dividend, about 11 cents, 20 cents. Look at the composition. So IonQ, D-Wave, Getty, Coherent, MicroStrategy. It's kind of interesting. Not sure how they play into quantum computing. IBM has quantum computing available on their cloud, have had for quite a few years. Marvell, Accenture's consulting. Look at the definition. Using this Blue Star Quantum Computing and Machine Learning Index, so not familiar with that. Passive management. We look at them also in the ETF database. So again, you can access their links to their FinBiz profile and ETF database profile in the ETF DB and FinBiz URL columns in our research sheet. Get more information. Also view their holdings, so very similar. Tower Semiconductor, Nokia, Fujitsu. So a little bit more information here in the ETF database, YPro. So I hope that all helps. Please let me know if you've got any experience trading this QTUM for quantum computing. See, again, longer term, it's got a pretty nice risk reward ratio. It's pretty high at the moment. So possibly on a pullback, it might be attractive. So as the hype kind of exhausts itself at some point, like it did in August, possibly a good opportunity to re-enter if we get that kind of pullback. So again, if you like the theme of quantum computing, want to trade it using an ETF, now we've got this QTUM in the research sheet in our ETF Google Sheet. The other one we added this week is another uranium ETF. There's another long uranium, URAN. This is a themed uranium and nuclear, so it's a uranium and nuclear theme. If we look at that one and compare it to the other uranium ETFs and the other uranium and nuclear ETFs we have, so you can see we have a variety of them. If we specifically look at URAN, see it's pretty high right now, 34, 52-week high at 35. Not again a huge risk reward for 52-week, 1.3. Again, doesn't look like it's been around for very long, so relatively new. So yeah, it's only been around since October. So again, we don't have a whole lot of history on it. Pretty high right now. Doesn't look like it pays a dividend. It is not optionable. Very small right now, 5 million AUM. Very low volume. So again, very thinly traded right now. Very new, probably lesser known. We look at its composition. New Scale, Cameco, Constellation, UEC, Next Gen Energy, Oklo. So it's got some of the SMR nuclear exposure. So if you like a mixture, Denison, DNN. So if you're looking for another one that's got a mixture of uranium and nuclear stocks, you might be interested in this URAN. Look at its definition. Revenue from uranium and nuclear industries. So both US and ADRs, so global companies as well. See if we can get any additional information in the ETF database. Look at their holdings. You can see again their expense ratio, etc. Also in the ETF database. So New Scale, Comicos, so LEU, UEC, PCG, NXE, Oklo, Yellow Cake, so that's a uranium, Duke Energy, so nuclear related utility, so a pretty diverse mixture of stocks, combination of uranium and nuclear. Another one that we have in our research sheet, combination of uranium and nuclear's NLR. So you can compare URAN to NLR. Those see they're pretty comparable performance-wise. URA, URNM we have in our main sheet. So we have additional uranium ETFs in our main sheet right now. So URA, URNJ, URNM. So you can compare the performance of those to the performance of the ones in our research sheet. So again, we've got nukes, URAN, URAX is leveraged against URA. So the performance of URA is just 2x leverage. Also NLR. So again, URAX got more leverage, got more higher risk reward profile. So nukes looks pretty good. So again, you can compare the compositions and the risk reward profiles of all of these different uranium ETFs in our ETFs Google sheet, and let us know what you think of this new one, URAN. Have you traded it before? What do you think of it as a potential trade on uranium and nuclear? Also, just another quick note is I've started posting when I add to our ETFs Google sheet. I've been posting these in our channel, our Beach Cabana channel, which is exclusive to our Patreon members. So as we add things to our ETF Google sheet, I've been posting those additions for our Patreons in the Beach Cabana channel, so that you can jump over then to the ETFs Google sheet and see those right away, see if that's something that would benefit your trading. So I hope that all helps. Let me know, Patreon members, if you find that beneficial, helpful to post when we make additions to our Google Sheets, and we can continue to do that. Okay, very quickly, if anyone else in the chat has any particular ETFs you want to look at, please throw those up in the chat, or a topic, etc. And we talked about Bitcoin. We have the Bitcoin futures-based ETFs, also ETFs based on miners, etc. So just to get a note, these BITO is long, BITI is short, but those are based on Bitcoin futures. And we've also got miners. We've been watching Brazil. We talked about Brazil last week. While we're discussing foreign countries and looking at some of the ETFs, we also jump forward. Last week, again, we started talking about the potential impact of the Trump administration on countries like Brazil. And we didn't get to a couple other topics. That was part of my ChatGPT discussion regarding the impacts of the second Trump presidency on other countries. So within that thread, I'd asked what other countries' markets could benefit or would suffer from a Trump presidency. I did update the link in last week's notes with this full conversation. And you can also see this whole conversation via the link in the notes for this week. So just want to quickly highlight some of those so we can look at some of those ETFs in our Google Sheet. So if I go to what other countries may benefit. So again, last week we talked about Brazil. So what other countries may benefit from a second Trump presidency? So it's interesting. I was a little bit surprised that Middle Eastern countries, but looser pro-oil or more of a pro-oil stance could benefit Saudi Arabia and UAE. Also, Gulf region geopolitical support. Russia, again, they're talking about reduced sanctions, but again, there's not really Russian stocks available. Mexico, and as we'll see, that's kind of mixed, so could benefit. Policies on China could push manufacturing to Mexico, which would benefit those. Demand on agricultural. Canada, again, oil, mining, more beneficial for oil and mining. Technology and defense, Israel. I'm not so sure about tourism right now. I don't think a lot of people are going to want to go there for tourism given the war. Australia, again, mining and agricultural. Vietnam, again, pushing manufacturing from China to Vietnam. Countries may suffer. China, obviously, he's talked about, slapping tariffs on a lot of China, very negative China. Could lead to shifts in supply chains. The EU, Germany, so again, more tariffs, trade tensions. So Europe, negative, also wanting them to pay for their defense. And financial services, again, Mexico, kind of mixed. He was negative NAFTA. Also, he's talking about putting tariffs due to immigration. So Mexico's kind of mixed. South Korea, negative, again, pushing them to spend on their military. Again, negative on Japan. And again, mixed on Canada. They've had tariff issues with Canada as well. Middle Eastern, Iran, obviously he pulled out of the Iran nuclear policy. Qatar and Turkey, emerging markets. So we saw dollar strength, negative for emerging markets, capital outflows. So again, hopefully all of that additionally helps. And then you can identify, ETFs. We talked about Mexico, China, etc. You can find a variety of ETFs related to those countries, also in either our main sheet or a research sheet. So we've got ETFs for Australia, Canada, more for Brazil, etc. So based on that information, you're looking for an ETF to trade long or short, possibly benefiting from this information on which countries may benefit or suffer from a second Trump presidency. I hope that all helps. And we talked about, not a whole lot of catalysts, although we had some appointments, got a little bit of a pop in cannabis sector, but generally not a whole lot of positivity. Talked about China, so long yen, short yang, some others. We talked about oil, natural gas, gold. Again, gold trending back up. So GDXU is the leverage long, but again, this is on gold miners. If you're looking for a TLDIs, monthly dividend payer on gold. JNUG, small gold miners. Japan. And we talked, generally negative on Mexico. Natural gas, long oil, or UNG, UNL, short gold. We've also got single stock ETFs, the long or short varieties of single stocks with variety of leverage, and you can find those in our ETFs Google sheet. Oil, again, long gush, short drip, or UCO long, SCO short. Retail, we've got some mixture of retail ETFs. If you're looking for positive or online retail, ONLN, or CLIX, CLIX. So got this decline of the retail store, so short brick and mortar, long online. So again, Black Friday information may trigger some movement in those retail sectors. Also got the retail sector in our sectors. So XRT is the retail sector spider. Silver, get long AGQ, short CSL or SSG, or monthly dividend payer SLBO. And we talked about treasuries being pretty low, not quite the 52-week. So you can long TLT with leverage TMF. Look at other durations. Talked about all the uranium ones. Dollar again been strong. Talked about Vietnam, although the risk reward profile isn't all that exciting on the Vietnam ETFs, but talked about second Trump being potentially positive there. Looked at volatility, so long and short volatility with a variety. Wheat rebounded. Also talked about the yen. Again, risk reward's not all that exciting, but right now it's close to its support level. So if you're looking for a short-term swing back up in the yen, possibly on unravel that yen carry trade, you can use the leveraged ETF YCL unleveraged FXY, or again short or YCS. So hope that all helps. And if anybody in the chat has any last minute ETFs you want to look at, please let me know. Do that very quickly. Also, you can always put them in the comments to our videos or contact us in our Discord. Again, our tag in our Discord is BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no other characters, symbols, numbers, etc. So if you have any questions or you'd like us to do research on any ETF or any stock, please tag us in the Discord and let us know. Put it in the comments to our videos. We'd also love your feedback on what we could do to improve our weekly trading game plans, our Google Sheets, our tools, resources, our Google Sheets, etc. What can we do to improve and continue to add more value for all of our BeachBum traders? We hope you like this content. We hope you'll smash the like button. Help us to try to get the YouTube algorithm to show us some love. Share our content with more traders. Continue to build our BeachBum trading community for the mutual benefit of all of our BeachBum traders. We'd really appreciate it if you directly share our content, repost our content on your social media sites, etc. Again, help us continue to grow our BeachBum trading community for the mutual benefit of all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So again, we hope to see you back tomorrow for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for Thanksgiving week, trading week of November 25th through November 29th, where we'll take all this market analysis, trading strategies, trade ideas. We'll use it to select our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. We'll also talk about how we use dividend payers and several option strategies to also generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So again, we hope to see you all back tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Sundays for part 2. And otherwise, we again want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving week. And thank you all for your participation and support. And have a great day.